Yeah, let's just not turn it on. Well, my name is Matthew Hardee. I'm the youngest person to ever run for this seat. I'm just going to get that out of the way now. And yeah, a lot of you. But yes, I'm young, but I'm also bringing a mature attitude. All right, I've studied music, and then I studied politics at Coastal Carolina University. So I try hard every day, even though I'm young, to be mature, to be responsible, to have that right attitude. But we're going to go into the reason why I'm running here a little bit. The reason why I'm running is I think the city, for the past, we'll say 20 years, has been going in a direction that has negatively affected so many people in so many different areas. There's not anyone who I believe is coming out and properly representing people in certain areas. And that's one of the main reasons I'm running, because where I live, I can't get nothing done. Whenever I ask for something to be pothole to be filled, it takes weeks and months, and then they finally just never come. They just stop giving me excuses. So that's really the reason why I'm running, is because there's a lack of responsibility in government. There's a lack of transparency in government, and things just need to change. And I'm just going to pass it on. Keep it short.
Should I say I'm the oldest? I was thinking, as far as Matthew goes, that he's in his 20s, and when I was in my 20s, I was running a hotel, so it's like, oh, back then when you're in your 20s, you're really pretty, sharp as far as being able to do things. But I ended up coming here in '76 when I married Dennis. I graduated from USC, got a job in Sumter, and then met him through my employment, and have been here ever since. And over that period of time, I've been working. I haven't had an opportunity to really delve into what's going on in the city, but I remember back years ago when I found out that they were building a hotel, and the city was building the hotel, and I remember thinking, oh, we don't have rooms, we're building a hotel. Well, it turns out that was because private developers were not able to do that. We decided to jump in and do it, and it's been operating in the red most of that time period. Finally, the last 4 years, they say it's been profitable. But luckily, over the last couple of years, I've had an opportunity to have more time and to find out more about what's going on. I've been going to the meetings. I have to say, though, not anywhere as much as Ed. Ed goes to all the meetings. We rely on him a lot for information about specifics. But I have gone to the budget meetings, and I've been looking into the effectiveness of the tourism tax. And what, I asked at the budget retreat, what is our debt? And I found, I was told there that it was $220 million and by Wayne Gray, and that the plan was to grow it. And I looked at him and I, kind of, oh really? And he said, heads on beds. And I go, I feel like that's a leadership problem, and that's another reason that I'm running, is because I realized when you think about the overview of the situation, what has pulled us down is, I think, doing the wrong thing. Our leaders are doing the wrong thing. They're trying to put heads on beds, advertise the beach, fill up the condos that their friends have, but yet, not putting money into infrastructure, extending the outfalls so that we have a clean beach and so that we protect our citizens and have safety. I'm really kind of getting ahead of myself, but because these are the questions that he's going to be asking. But basically, that's it. It was finding out what was going on and realizing somebody's got to do something. So I tried with some other people to look for people. You've got to run for city council. We need some new people. We have a poor direction that we're going, and nobody stepped up. So here we are.
Thanks, Ann and Matthew, Mike, for being here, and everybody else. My name's Ed Carey, as you know. I believe government's primary purpose is for public safety and reasonable property rights. This town has failed on both those issues. That's the reason I'm here talking to you today. We will probably get through a lot of different questions, so I'm not going to get into details of how I side on different issues. I'll just answer the questions. But I've lived here permanently since 2006. I've been coming here since 1981. My father lived here the last 22 years of his life, from 88 to 2010. I came here and fell in love with this city, and I'm very saddened with some of the progress of the old historical parts of this city. I was involved with, when I moved here permanently, I was hired to be the construction manager of the Market Common, and proudly built that project out, and I live down there. Sometimes I feel like I'm the parent that gave up his child for adoption and see it abused every once in a while, but we won't get into those details. But I look forward to answering your questions. Thanks for coming.
Hi, my name is Mike Hobeika. I'm running for city council. The reason I'm running for office, I've lived here all my life. I'm 57 years old, and I grew up between both of the fishing piers, and at that time it was both of the pavilions. And I lived on Ocean Boulevard, Ocean Front. We used to own 3 motels down there. As a kid, I did it all. I had the fun with the beach service. I played on the beach. I washed linens, cleaned swimming pools. We played with all the tourists and the guests. I lived at the pavilion. It was the greatest life anyone could ever want. This was the most wonderful town. It was governed by the center of the city. The mayor and the city council were all from this little area right here. And when that happened, we had a hometown. And it was wonderful. We all knew each other. We were friendly. Chapin Company was our grocery store. And this was the center of activity. It was bustling. There were people here. It was safe. And it was safe because there was so many law-abiding citizens around. It made it easy. And as time went by, I saw our city change. And I own property over here in the super block. I've got the oldest building in the super block. It was built in 1932 before the city was a city. And I still keep the thing up. I can't get rid of it. It's kind of sentimental. I love the thing. My grandfather built it. And I've been down there fighting the good fight for many years. And through these years, I've seen our city kind of shift. And it shifted to where bigger, better, grander, more grandiose. And it just doesn't work. We've lost the magic. We've lost the simple things that made us great. And it just kills me. And I looked and I asked myself one day, you know, why am I letting these other people tell me what to do when I just don't feel like they really know what they're doing? They can't seem to get it right. They can't get it together. And what they do seems to be making more people angry than satisfied. And we're not doing as great as we once were. And that's why I'm running for council, because I believe I know what it used to be like. I know these are simple, basic fixes. And we seem to have lost common sense at city council. It seems that if they can spend more money and have a bigger plan and something more grandiose, that is what they want. And that just doesn't fit on the ground. And I just want to get back to basics. I want to do those simple things again. And I want to see our city thrive, and I want to see people happy, and I want to hear those children laughing, and I want to see people walking down the beach in safety. We don't have that now. It's a little scary, and there's no excuse for that. And I realized one day when I'm standing there, who better than someone that's lived here all their life, and who better than someone who has actually seen it function to know what it's supposed to look like when it does function. We don't have to shoot everybody in the streets, and we don't have to run everybody out of town and rebuild it. We have a wonderful place here if we just ran it right. And that's what I think we need to do. Thank you.